Welcome back to the Malted Man Cave. I'm your host, Keith. Tonight, I'm going to be reviewing a beauty from the Highlands. Alright, so tonight, I'm going to be reviewing Glencadam 21. And I have to say a big thank you to Dram Dude, who's an awesome guy in the whiskey community who knows his stuff, loves his whiskey. He has an awesome Instagram page. He and I decided to swap samples a while back, and he sent me, let's see, he sent me Black Art, which was amazing. Altmore 18, I think a Springbank 17 Sherrywood, which you guys know Daddy likes. And then obviously this awesome Glencadam 21. So as I said before, Glencadam Distillery is a Highland distillery. And for the few of you who don't know, the Highlands is a region in Scotland. Now there's some debate about this, but the Scotch Whisky Association claims that there's 5 regions. You have Speyside, you have Highlands, Lowlands, Campbelltown, and Islay. Many people consider the islands to be its own region, but it actually is not. At least according to the Scotch Whisky Association, there's a little bit of debate about it, but those are the 5 according to the Scotch Whisky Association. It used to be very helpful. It kind of delineated and kind of helped people understand like where the different styles were. You know, Islay was really smoky, Campbelltown sooty, funky, Speyside real fruity and sweet, floral. But over the years, obviously, we all know things have changed. They make peated whiskey at Ben Romac and Speyside, you know, obviously in Campbelltown. Kalila on Islay is unpeated at times. Obviously, they have their peated as well. But as a whole, I still think it's helpful to kind of understand the different regions, even though they're not as identifying as they used to. I also want to give a big thank you to Jay Chung, who has been a subscriber and a supporter for a very long time, but he just recently became a Patreon of ours, to which we are very appreciative. Jay is an awesome guy. He's always so encouraging in the comments, always watches every video and comments and likes. So Jay, you are the freaking man. We really appreciate it. And this review is dedicated to you, my friend. Thanks, buddy. So without further ado, let's get into some whiskey. I should have done my homework. I think this is mostly bourbon maturation. There might be a little bit of sherry involved. I will put the information, or at least what I can find on the internets, right there. So, but for the most part, yeah, there might be the smallest bit of sherry, but most of this is bourbon maturation, in my humble opinion. You get Gristy barley sugar in there. There's only a few. I mean, obviously you can get Gristy in a lot of different single malts, but there are a few distilleries that specifically it sticks out to me. One is Balvenie, and the other one is Glencadam, at least the few expressions that I've had. I'm trying to think of any other more Gristy. Oh, I'm sure I'll forget. It's like 10:30 at night and I had a long day, so I'm not going to remember. But either way, Balvenie and Glencadam have this really Gristy, and I don't know what it's from. There could be a plethora of different things that are causing it. It could even be as simple as when they mill it, maybe the flour, you know, when they mill it down, maybe they didn't grind it up or mill it up quite as much, and maybe it's just a little bit more full, if you will. Again, just my humble opinion. Take it or leave it. So again, Gristy barley sugar. That is fantastic. I haven't had this in a while. I tasted a majority of the sample and then I set it back to review it. It's been probably 6, 7, 8 months. Wow, that has really opened up. That is fantastic. I get a bit like white grapes, Concord grapes, honeysuckle, kiwi, maybe the slightest bit of buttercream, frosting, icing sugar, a little bit of dried pineapple. You know how they have like little packs of like dried fruit? This smells like dried pineapple, dried pineapple with a little bit of kind of confectionery sugar or powdered sugar sprinkled on top of it. A little grassiness, a little lemongrass. It's a really good nose. Really good nose, and it opens up even more if you leave it in the glass. Obviously, the age-old rule, for every year that it's in the cask, you leave it out in the glass. So if it's 21 years, you leave it out for 21 minutes, which I have not done, and it's already amazing. I can only imagine how much this would open up with even more time. Vanilla fudge. And then lastly, a little sourness, like sour peaches and pears. Just so you get a lot of orchard fruits, Gristy barley sugar, orchard fruits, a little bit of sweet like icing sugar. I think there might be a little floral in the background, but all this sweetness in the white orchard fruits kind of drowned it out. Just fantastic stuff. So on to the palate. Again, you really notice the Gristy barley sugar more on the palate than the nose. I don't even know if I really could smell it on the nose. I think I just know from tasting this that it is Gristy barley sugar, so I just say it. I know, sorry guys. But yeah, it's just like thick. It's like there's little bits of milled barley. It's just this little microscopic little bits of, milled barley. Again, white grapes, lemongrass, hay. This time I get a little bit of like stewed apples, maybe with a little spiciness, maybe a touch of cinnamon. Vanilla fudge, again, buttercream, frosting. And lastly, a little bit of sparkling white grape juice. I don't know, I came from a family that didn't drink, so when the holidays came or New Year's Eve, we busted out our bubbly of non-alcoholic sparkling white grape juice. So that's what I get on the end of the palate. So let's get into the finish. Man. Obviously, Glencadam is getting a lot of hype after Ralphie made it the Glencadam 15, his whiskey of the year. I think it was last year. I think 2017, I believe. Could be wrong. I think it's 2017. So obviously, the distillery is getting a bunch of attention now. So you might want to go get this now because it probably is only going to get more expensive. Just seems to be the way after Ralphie makes something a whiskey of the year, then that distillery as a whole just kind of explodes. And for good reason, because he's a genius and he's an amazing guy and he knows his stuff. Man. So the finish is long, actually. Originally I thought it was going to be just more medium, but it's that Gristy barley sugar. It just kind of clings and it hangs onto your tongue. Again, you get all those like stewed apples, orchard fruits, kiwi, honeysuckle, buttercream frosting, a little bit of slightest lemongrass, hay notes. Man, it's fantastic. It's not like crazy long, but it's medium to long and leaning more on the long. So fantastic stuff. I am going to give this a malted man cave mark of 90 out of 100. Excellent stuff. This would be really, really good if it was at a higher ABV. I mean, it's already at 46% ABV. I believe it's unchill filtered, and I believe it's non-colored. I will put the information right there. But yeah, definitely malted man cave recommended. I mean, if Ralphie recommends it, I'm gonna have to go with him because it's pretty fantastic stuff. So again, thank you, Dram Dude, for this amazing dram. Jay Chung, as I said before, this video is dedicated to you. Thank you so much for supporting us. And as we said before, guys, there's no pressure. We never created this channel for it to be a business. We just like drinking whiskey. I love sharing my passion. Whiskey is expensive, so that's kind of why we did create it. I had a couple people that asked that wanted to support it. So no pressure if you can't afford it. You just like watching. We're just happy to have you guys like, subscribe, and watch. But again, thank you so much, Jay. You are a gentleman and a scholar. So as always, thank you guys. Please hang around for our next review and